The biggest week of wrestling news continues to gather momentum as now The Rock's WWE return date has been revealed. CM Punk to AEW seems actually confirmed. Ollie's going to be very pleased. And even more on why Daniel Bryan signed with AEW. So give that old subscribe button a running knee and we'll chant yes for you. Yes, yes, yes. But that's playing havoc with the microphone.
Support WrestleTalk!
With CM Punk and Daniel Bryan reportedly on their way to AEW, it's almost crazy to think that at the beginning of the week we were just chatting about John Cena and Goldberg coming back to WWE. And that was only meant to be the start of it too, because we've also been having the teasers of Becky Lynch returning for a while, Brock Lesnar's reportedly in talks, and all that talk of one great one set to electrify the fans once again. Now of all of them, The Rock seemed like he would be the hardest to nail down, as his acting career is chock full of the sort of caveats that keep you out of the ring, like insurance, legally binding contract, and globe-spanning shoots. But if this new report is to be believed, then The Rock could be back before the year is out. It's been previously reported that the tentative WrestleMania plan is for Rocky to face down his cousin Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 38, and now it looks like they are giving it plenty of time to set up the match. According to Andrew Zarian on the Mat Men podcast, the current plan for WWE is to have the People's Champ return at Survivor Series 2021. Zarian said he had heard this from 3 separate sources within WWE, but had no details on whether Rock would be wrestling or simply making an appearance on the show. I think, considering it's 5 months out from WrestleMania and in that time The Rock will likely be shooting 25 films, he's probably not going to be wrestling. Which also raises the likelihood of this build being scattergun rather than sustained, as it's unlikely they'd be able to book Rock out in the same way that they have, say, Cena in the build-up to SummerSlam. But if he does appear on the show, which traditionally takes place in November, that leaves lots of time for him to drop in on random SmackDown episodes to further this slow burn feud of the family. It was also reported on the podcast that the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York was tentatively being thought of to host this year's Survivor Series. More on that, I guess, when it comes. What do you think? Are you excited for The Rock to finally come back to WWE? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying. So this week brought with it the news that CM Punk had reportedly been in talks for an in-ring wrestling return, and AEW was looking like the likely landing spot for that. Now, a new report from Ringside News is claiming that the Punk signing is a done deal. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but you just don't want to miss the moment. Otherwise, you feel like that guy who just wanted to start the slow clapping, not another teen movie. Ringside News has been pretty reputable of late, but this claim doesn't make clear if Punk has signed on the dotted line or just whether significant progress has been made towards an agreement. Adding fuel to this already frankly out of control hype fire, though, is a recent AEW trademark. Back on July 19th, the company filed to trademark The First Dance for entertainment purposes. Then yesterday, Punk posted on his Instagram story a black screen with the song Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project. Now, eagle-eared listeners recognize that this song was the theme for the Chicago Bulls basketball team, and what is the most famous bit of Bulls-related media of the last year or so? That's right, it's Michael Jordan's masturbatory documentary, The Last Dance. Last Dance, First Dance. There's either a link here, or someone's coming to AEW with a wedding gimmick. Miro? It could also be Punk cryptically playing to the crowd and just stoking the flames a bit. He has definitely done that before. But then in comes Dave Meltzer wading in to fan the flames some more on the Wrestling Observer forum, noting that the way that people are talking behind the scenes in AEW, if Punk hasn't actually signed a deal with the company, the understanding is that he is with them. He wrote, "Things going on behind the scenes as far as talks about certain dates and such make me think if this isn't signed, they have an understanding, and unless there is a blow-up, it's happening." Did you hear that? Somewhere in London, Ollie just fainted. But it turns out that AEW weren't the only people reportedly making a play for Punk. Now there's a word for that. What is it? It's, But according to Fightful Select, Marty Scurll, back when he was Ring of Honor's head booker, reached out to Punk about him heading back there. Now the talks didn't go very far, but word from Ring of Honor was that story, opponents, and the general plan were reportedly more important to Punk than money. Vince was like, "You want a plan? Sorry, we're out. But while everyone's been talking about AEW getting the best in the world and the actual best wrestler in the world, after Kenny of course, they've actually signed one of the best female wrestlers in the world and announced it. Because AEW announced on Twitter yesterday that Thunder Rosa is now officially All Elite. Rosa has been appearing on AEW TV since 2020 and had this year's standout women's match against Britt Baker, but technically has been sort of an NWA exchange student. Rosa's generally been open before that her deal with the Alliance ends sometime at the end of the year, and I think we can all agree that barely any bones were made about the fact that she would likely end up full-time at AEW in 2022. But this signing comes sooner than most people were expecting. And that's because, according to Fightful Select, AEW bought out Rosa's contract from NWA, meaning she could be brought to AEW far sooner. The report also states that Tony Khan is being careful not to tamper with anyone's contracts and often is working very directly with Billy Corgan on their collaborations, and likely worked very closely with him on this. Also when Hundo P signed with AEW, according to the reports, is Daniel Bryan, which is just crazy. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer dived into the news, revealing that the key reason that Bryan, which I'm using as his first name at this point, but you can't tell, chose AEW. Meltzer said the decision came down to which company would allow him to wrestle with New Japan while signed. Before his WWE departure, Bryan, I'm using it as surname this time, made it quite clear that his desire was to go out and wrestle for promotions around the world, like a sort of wrestling Rumspringer. But after Bryan's departure, it was revealed that WWE President Nick Khan had entered talks with NJPW to become their exclusive US partner, a move partly undertaken so D-Bry could wrestle some dates with the promotion. And from some reports, it feels like it was known internally at WWE for quite a while that Bryan wouldn't be returning. WrestleVotes on Twitter said that regarding the Daniel Bryan rumor, since I've got a ton of questions on it, I don't have many direct AEW contracts. However, I did ask my WWE contracts when's the last time Bryan's name has been brought up within creative or even talked about. Months was the answer. So that's that. Someone I'm sure needs no coaxing back is Bray Wyatt, who has been AWOL since just after WrestleMania, since just after making his return after a mysterious absence. Now, reports have surfaced a few times speculating what the issues could be, with PW Insider sources stating that Wyatt is not out because of a creative issue or Vince wanting to save his return for live events. Instead, Ringside News say their sources have told them that Bray is out over a medical issue. But as he's been advertised for a show on August the 9th, it looks like his return could be imminent, and he could even be squeezed onto the old SummerSlam card if he comes back then, to be set on fire. Also potentially making a comeback with a twist is the King of the Ring tournament. Now, according to Wrestling Inc., who haven't exactly been firing on all cylinders recently, so please do take a pinch of salt with this, WWE are reportedly planning to hold a Queen of the Ring tourney at some point this year. Now, the report states that the show will be a main roster event hosted on Peacock rather than Raw or SmackDown. Interestingly, WWE's only held 5 King of the Ring tournaments since 2002, when the titular pay-per-view title was dropped. And the last all-women's event WWE hosted was Evolution back in 2018. It's the first and last. There has been significant demand for a follow-up show from a sector of the fan base, and especially from a lot of the female talent within WWE. Especially a lot of the released female talent within WWE. But the company has so far seemed reluctant to actually hold another event. According to Dave Meltzer, the internal thinking being that why add that pay-per-view when it wasn't a big hit? I think they should do it, but if someone wins the QOTR tournament, they're going to be known as Queen whatever until the next one happens, which, if it's a women's only thing, will be never. And then what do you do? Because then they're gimmick infringing Charlotte.
And then there's the bear, Luke. The bear.
Yeah. So poor old Aaron McGeehee. Aaron McGeehee was always like the one that got picked on of the lot. And like, yeah, the closing moment of this trailer is Aaron McGeehee like tied to this chair. Danger Aaron tied to this chair. And he's like, man, I've really like opened myself up for failure here, haven't I? And they're pouring honey over him and putting salmon around him. And then this door opens and a massive like grizzly bear like wanders in. The look on his face is it's incredible.